and Chuffy and I have been on it 3 times. We've had once in Cowes, once here on the river, we went out for the day, and once somewhere else, so in London.
And this town's Ipswich, I think.
This is Ipswich.
Yeah.
These are the docks in Ipswich, and these barges used to ply their trade around the Thames estuary, and they were sailed by a man, a boy and a dog.
Yeah.
Coal, no, probably not coal, grain mainly.
Yeah.
What else would they do, Jeff? Grain. And they'd go up all these little creeks. These have got, you see they've got a lee, you can't see, there's a lee board on the side of this. There's no keel underneath this. These are flat bottomed. They draw, what, a couple of a foot or so?
Both.
And then
She was built at Cowes on the Isle of Wight in 1934 on to 35. She joined the London Fire Brigade in 1935. 1940 she was sent to Dunkirk, not to take people off the beaches, but she went there to fight the fires in the harbour and in the oil refineries. But when they got there, they found that the harbour was being bombed and there was all the sunken ships and whatever, and better part of valour they went to the beach. The boat is flat bottomed and she draws a metre of water, so from the bottom of the hull to the top of the water surface is 1 metre. And eventually they got over, I think it was believed about 680 people from the beaches on the last
3 trips.
What speed was she at?
She's certified at 12 knots.
Good speed.
200 slow, 400 half and 600 full speed. But 200 if you put it in gear, at the moment that engine will stall. Right. So we really need to be.
Okay, ask a dumb question. Would that work in another season?
Yes.
And it would just be a shorter shadow, or what?
Yes.
Daylight saving and throw it out there, wouldn't it?
Yes.
G'day Andy, tell us a little bit about this one we're on.
Yeah, this is the Endeavour,
Yeah.
built in 1924 as a cockle boat, working the Thames estuary to catch cockles, obviously. She went to Dunkirk with 5 other ships or boats from Lee, all of similar size, one of which didn't return. All 4 crew were lost. She's had a bit of a checkered history. She's done cockling, she's done shrimp fishing, she's done whiteweed and also fishing generally. In '95, she was left as a hulk in the River Medway, across the other side to us in Lee. 2000, the Endeavour Trust was formed to find a vessel to bring back to Lee and restore in a trust for the people of Lee. She was brought back by road, she was rebuilt, she had a lot of money spent on her, and in 2005, just in time for the Dunkirk celebrations, she was able to join other Dunkirk little ships. It's a trip they make every 5 years, every on the zeros and on the five. She went with that. She starred in the film Dunkirk. You've got to really look closely to see it, but she was there. She did 3 days filming. She's recently been to Zeebrugge in Belgium for a weekend's festival there, and this is our second outing for the year at Ipswich. So that's just about a very brief history of the Endeavour.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for that. Tell me the story there, what you know
Well,
about
I've just read a tiny bit. It just said it was towed to Dunkirk.
Yeah.
But I'd have to read it again, or you could take a photograph of the information.
Well, no,
that it
just
was
a summary.
the boat that was towing it, I think, got blown up, and it got lifted in the air and came down the.
Go.
The Association of Dunkirk Little Ships records that no less than 6 of the 16 barges that sailed to the relief of Dunkirk were owned by R&W Paul. One, the ENA, survived the Channel crossing despite the mines and constant air attacks, only for her skipper, Alfred Page, to be ordered to beach her. The Germans were closing in fast, and he was told to abandon her and escape with his crew on the minesweeper to England. Colonel Mackay and his men of the 19th Field Regiment Royal Artillery could not believe their luck when they arrived on a Lipan beach to see the ENA in seaworthy condition, anchored and almost afloat, and they promptly boarded her. At the same time, Captain Attlee of the East York Regiment was on the mole of Dunkirk, and with one of his men made a raft with shovels paddled out to the ENA. They helped a further 36 men on board, including 3 wounded, and by 8 o'clock in the morning they were under sail. Under constant enemy bombardment and machine gun fire, they proceeded across the channel. Captain Attlee recalls that at midnight they took a back bearing on Dunkirk and found that they had gone too far southwest. His only sailing experience had been on the Norfolk Broads, and he had forgotten to put the lee boards down, so they changed course and were eventually picked up by a tug and towed to Margate. R&W Paul, who had presumed the ENA was lost on the beaches at Dunkirk, were amazed when told she was in Kent awaiting collection. Alfred Page was sent, second page, to bring her home, but found she'd been stripped of her gear. They had taken the sweeps, the mooring lines, the fenders, and even my false teeth that I'd left in a glass of water by my bunk, he said. You can't trust these men of Kent. He had forgotten where she had been and what she'd done, or what it was it he just did not like about the men of Kent. The Association of Dunkirk Little Ships also records that the barge, the Pudge, behind me, was sent with 2 other barges under tow by the St. Fagin to aid the Dunkirk evacuation. As they reached the beaches, the tug struck a mine. The explosion sunk the tug and the other barges, but the Pudge, that had moved to the side and the rear of the tug, was literally lifted out of the water, and in the words of the skipper, she came down the right way up. The St. Fagin had a crew of 25, only 6 whom survived, and they were picked up together with the survivors from the other barges. by the Pudge crew with their barge boat. Pudge then took on board further survivors from the beaches and set off for England with an estimated 300 men. She picked up a tow from a tug on the way back and docked safely at Ramsgate.